Once again, I'm hitting you with some pretty tragic news, but in life, it's all about perception. So even though it seems like on face value, this is sad news, we can actually look at this as positive news. I'll explain that. An active mayor, a currently serving mayor of a Maryland town next to Washington, D.C. metropolis, has committed suicide at the age of 44. The name of the town is called Hyattsville, and it's in Maryland. It's an urban area outside of Washington, D.C. It is with great sadness that we report that our beloved Hyattsville mayor, Kevin Ward, passed away yesterday, January 25th, from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. A post on the official website for Hyattsville said on Wednesday, Mayor Ward was a valued and trusted leader and a fierce advocate for all the people of Hyattsville. Ward previously served as city council president in Hyattsville, located just north of the border between Maryland and D.C., and became mayor at the end of 2020. When then Mayor Candace Hollingsworth stepped down, Ward, a Democrat, then won the mayoral election in May 2021. Ward's body was found by United States Park police officers in Fort Marcy, a park in McLean, Virginia. I am a pretty straightforward person, Ward's campaign website reads. I believe in listening more than talking. But when I talk, I am one to mince words or tell people what they want to hear. I believe in doing the work. I believe that if I can help someone, then I can change her or his life. That's why I dedicated my career to providing the best technology, to education, and human services to help as many as I can. All right. Even the Wikipedia page for the town of Hyattsville has removed him as being the mayor and has the interim mayor as being the mayor. So, what I want to speak about is all right. Bear with me. I know some people are going to disagree with me. Some people will agree with me. This situation wouldn't have happened had he not had access to a weapon. Okay. Now you can say that that's true, but it would have happened eventually. If he left his gun at home, he would have just killed himself when he got home. Or you can say, well, he wouldn't have killed himself when he got home. Had his gun been somewhere else, like at home, the overwhelming feelings of sadness, feeling low, feeling depressed would have naturally subsided by the time he got home. All it takes is a few hours to completely change. All it takes is a phone call. All it takes is somebody saying a certain word to you. All it takes is one of your kids calling you for your mood to completely change. And I think both of those two perceptions are valid. But at the end of the day, suicide happens when people have access to a weapon. We all know that because you can't commit suicide via firearm without the firearm. And when people are feeling incredible feelings of sadness and depression. And what they do is they react. Suicide is a reactive thing. You're reacting to the sadness. You're reacting to the negative stimuli that you're feeling. And you kill yourself. So the thing that can save people from suicide is time away from a gun. Being distant from a weapon. Without that particular, And here's one thing. People... And I've read some suicide studies before I made this video, and basically what they say, to paraphrase, is people who commit suicide via firearm are they're normally the people who don't really have the guts or the confidence to commit suicide by hanging themselves or any other possible way that might generate a great deal of pain before death. They generally want to get it over with quickly. So when you're dealing with people who feel like that, the best way to prevent their suicide is by distancing them from their weapon, from their firearm. The longer they're away from their weapon, their firearm, the more of a chance that the more of a chance that their sad mood will subside. The more of an opportunity for them to feel better because they're reacting, they're in the moment, they're not thinking long term. They're caught up in this specific moment of sadness, and you're reacting to that by committing suicide. So, I don't know what we can do to fix that. I don't know I don't know. It's not like we can scan somebody with some sort of machine and tell if they're suicidal or not. As you can see, suicide, it goes across the whole spectrum. Regina King's son committed suicide last week. An active mayor just committed suicide. A couple years ago, Anthony Bourdain committed suicide. I mean, it's not just people who are unprivileged. It's not just people who are without, it's not poor people who are having troubles paying their bills. It's not, people who have got evicted from their homes. Most of the people who are committing suicide are people that have access to resources. These are people that have privileges. These are people who are blessed in society with materialism and financial resources. So a lot of suicide prevention programs are directed towards fixing poverty, because they're thinking that poverty is linked to suicide. Poverty creates sadness, sadness creates suicide. So a lot of these suicide prevention programs are actually trying to provide people with something that they're missing, something that they don't have, in order to make them not feel sad anymore. But the reality of the situation is the people who are getting by with less, the people who are poverty-stricken, the people who are getting kicked out their homes, they're sad, but they're not committing suicide. The people who are committing suicide are the people that actually have a lot of things. The people who have resources and assets and are okay financially. So I think we've got to redefine our suicide programs, and because for me, from what I see, professional people who have access to a lot of resources, these are the people who are committing suicide more than anybody else. You have 132 suicides per day, and statistically speaking, the majority of those people are well-to-do people. They just get incredibly sad. Rest in peace to Kevin Ward. Hope his family gets through this. Condolences. Peace.